This is Phil Woolery with Purdue Extension, and today I'm going to talk to you about controlling invasive species, specifically how to go about it. So you think you have invasive species on your property, what's the process, how you should go about trying to get those under control and eliminated from an area. And I'm going to talk about some general principles that you can apply on large acreage or small ones. I'm going to be working on, it's probably about 1/4 of an acre here in this little patch of woods that I'm going to go through. So our steps are, first you have to know what kind of species you are. You're going to look at what kind of species are present on the site, what size they are they small, are they large? And that's going to determine, knowing what's out here is going to help us determine what sort of control options that we need to take to get these under control. So some different things we could do, either foliar sprays, hand pulling, or cut stump treatments. So I'm going to get started on the first one, and we're going to go check out what kind of species we have here. So in my inventory, I found several mainly shrub species, and those would include the main one we see a lot right here is this privet, and that's covering a lot of area in here. Other species I found were autumn olive and also bush honeysuckle. I found 1 or 2 of the of Japanese barberry and also winged burning bush too. So those are the main shrubby species we see here. I found 1 tree. I found a ailanthus or tree of heaven growing here, and those we can use similar strategies for that. So our main goal is to prevent it from getting worse. So we want to prevent seed production. So these little ones right here are not producing seed. We've got larger ones that are taller that are capable of producing seeds, and we want to kind of cut off that seed production. So you could target those larger ones and then come back for these if you're don't have as much time, or depending on the area you could do both. So with these shorter ones, the good strategy is a foliar treatment. So, and that timing would be in the fall, you know, from August through September or till leaf fall there. This time of year, all woody plants, they've kind of set bud, they've stopped growing, and they're kind of storing energy for the winter. And so those herbicides like glyphosate or triclopyr, they'll translocate to the roots and kill them. Trying to do the early spring when they're actively growing, well, you'll get poor control now. So this is the good time for treating these. So with these shorter ones, we're just going to do a foliar spray. For the larger ones that are taller than me, it'd be really hard to do a foliar spray on those and get good coverage. So what we're going to do there is do a cut stump treatment. So I'm going to cut it down and then treat the stump. And so that will kill the roots and we won't get sprouts coming back. I mentioned we have ailanthus, one little tree. When they're small, they're pretty easy control with a foliar spray, and that kills them pretty good. Larger trees, you're going to have to do it a little different. I like to do girdling and using herbicide in there. The only problem there is they do root sprouts, so after that you're going to have to be watching, because a year or 2 afterwards they're going to be sending up root sprouts all around, and you can just hit those with foliar sprays, but it just takes vigilance to get those under control. We had 1 viney species, the Oriental bittersweet. And so we have some individuals that are growing along the ground that have not started to climb up any trees, and those can be controlled with a foliar spray as well, and that works well. With the ones that are climbing on a tree, they're wrapping around, they're going up, we can't get good coverage with that foliar spray. What we want to do is cut those vines down, and one thing that will do is oftentimes that's where your seed production is going to be, and then you can do a foliar spray on the lower vines. If it's a big vine, you can do a cut stump treatment on those. There's also probably, I might have seen one, garlic mustard. Yes, garlic mustard. But the fall is, you could spray them, but they're real small and hard to find. And it's probably best just to wait till the spring when they're starting flowering and bolting to come back and try and hand pull those. I find that's the most effective time. We're cutting off that seed production and we're just working our way through that seed bank that's stored in the soil there. And sort of through persistence, you can control that. So for now, we're working on these woody species here. We'll get started on doing some foliar sprays now. So here I have my foliar spray mix up. I've just have this in a 1 gallon little sprayer. I probably could use it in a, like a backpack sprayer, 3 gallon to treat this, but I've got this now. And if this is all the equipment you have, you can make this work. Just gonna take multiple loads, mixing it, and then you might take a break. It might be good because if you've got a long time frame, got more time on your hands, you can treat an area and then wait a week and see what's dying and what you missed and come back and treat again and get more area too. So with this, I've got my little safety, and you want to follow all the labels and follow what they say on the labels for safety and for effective use of these herbicides. So with this, we just need to do a little pumping up to get pressure in there. And then we just want to we're going to spray the leaves and we want to get good coverage on there. You don't want to try not to have it dripping down, and trying to be a little careful to try and to make sure that you've got, you're not hitting too many off-target species there. You're probably going to kill some desirable vegetation, but that's kind of the gamble you're playing here, because we're hoping that hopefully when we kill off the invasive species, we're going to get our native plants coming back in and replacing them there. So if we kill a few off in the process, in the long run, it'll be better for the woods. So. And with this glyphosate, it's going to take about a week before we start seeing the effects. So it'll start turning yellow in about a week there. So here we have a large privet here that it would be too hard for me to get good coverage with with a foliar spray. And also I just noticed here we've got some seeds forming here, so we want to take care of that so we're not spreading those seeds and continuing our problem. So you can use lots of different tools, a hand saw. I got these big loppers that'll work on this size. Chainsaw or brush saw will work on here. So you're just going to cut it off close to ground level like this. You just got to watch out for the clear out in a good spot there. And then we're going to We've got our herbicide mix up here. Good solution is 50-50 Roundup or glyphosate and water. We'll kill them pretty good. And we're just gonna spray on this stump that's left here. And that will prevent it from sprouting back in the spring. So here we have this Oriental bittersweet that's growing up in the tree, and it's fairly, 20-30 foot up in the canopy. So I cannot reach that with a foliar spray. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find the vines. We've got several of them coming up through here, and I'm gonna cut that so up top it dies. And when you cut these vines, even like big, large ones, you don't want to pull it down because especially those big, large ones, you could. That's a safety concern if it's part of it falls on you. So we just want to cut it and leave it there. So we try and sever all these connections to the top. On that vine, we might have another one over here. We'll just get them all cut. So I got all the ones that are connecting, those ones that are going up top cut. So now I can do the foliar spray here. And so just the same as before with what we're doing with the shrubs. You just get a good coverage. I've got some privet growing here too, so grab that at the same time. But we get a coverage of these vines that are growing at the base, and so that will kill the roots. So now we have got all the treatments done. We've sprayed foliar, we've done the cut stump. Took a while, and then got those vines taken care of as well. So you might think, well, we got them all, we're good to go, and we can ignore it. That's not quite the case. I'm sure I missed some in here, and so I'll have to come back and do some rechecking. Maybe next year in the spring, see what's sprouting up while I'm checking for garlic mustard, and then plan my fall treatments as well for them. And so, but it's going to take several years and constant vigilance. So you're going to want to, but I think the good thing is if we say we only got 75% of the invasive, so we kill 75%, we get 25%, and the next year we do 75% of that. We're reducing our population down to 1, so it's very manageable, and we can keep it under control. And then even if you get everything out of here, we still need to keep watch, because a lot of times, there's these invasive species at our neighbor's place. And unless you kind of talk to them and say, hey, you want to help me get control of that there, those seeds are going to travel back over property lines and reinfect your area. So it's just going to be a constant vigilance to keep your ecosystem healthy. But the good news is once you get the hard work, control that infestation, wiping up a couple new sprouts every other year will be pretty easy. So if you have any other questions about invasive species or different techniques or control for specific species, you can reach out to me in the comments or shoot me an email. All right, have a good day. For more information, be sure to check out Purdue's invasive species website, Report Invasive. It can be found at ag.purdue.edu/reportinvasive. You can find all sorts of information on identification, reporting, and control on this website.